Hey, third grade, it's Mr. Roney again from the Syracuse Academy of Science and Citizenship, and I'm here to teach you a lesson about letters in math being treated as unknown numbers, which can be scary at first, but is actually a pretty easy concept if you can get your head around the fact that sometimes in math we get to use letters instead of numbers, or letters in addition to numbers. So today's plan is pretty simple. We're going to practice a little skip counting, but in a slightly different way than usual. Make it a little bit more complicated and challenging for you. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to practice our read, draw, and write strategy, which is the way that we tackle word problems. And the third thing is we're going to practice using letters to represent unknown numbers in math. So that's enough of me talking. Let's get going. Okay, everyone. So for this part, all we need to do is we need to have our voices ready and our eyes paying attention and our ears listening. So in front of us, we have a skip counting chart, which on the top, we can ignore this whole first row. So I'm actually going to cross that out. No need to even look at that. Let's start with this middle row right here, where it says 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, all the way to 20. What do you think we're counting by today when we're skip counting? That's right, we're counting by twos. And most of you are probably like, Mr. Roney, I already know how to count by twos. I've known this since September. That's fine. Whether you know how to skip count by twos or not, this is going to be fun because we're going to add another layer of challenge while we're skip counting. So first, let's just skip count as we usually would. And you can follow along with your voice while you're watching this. So I'll point to a letter or a number, and you're going to say that number. We're going to say it together. So let's just count by twos normally. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. And we'll go backwards to get extra fancy. 20, 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, and 2. Now, we can skip count by twos. Great. Where's the challenge? Here's the next challenge. Now I want you to take a look at the row above it, where it says 1, 2, 2 twos, 3 twos, 4 twos, and all the way up to 10 twos. What do you notice about these two and these two? What do you notice about these pairs of numbers? So if you look closely, you'll realize that 1, 2 is the same thing as 2. It's just a different way to say it. And 2 twos is the same thing as 4, just a different way to say it. 3 twos is the same thing as 6. Okay? So we can also skip count by twos by saying 1, 2, 2 twos, 3 twos, 4 twos, 5 twos, 6 twos, 7 twos, 8 twos, 9 twos, and 10 twos. And 10 twos is the same thing as 20. So it's just a different way to think about skip counting in a way that might be easier or more challenging. Now, here's the real challenge. Can we skip count by alternating between these two ways to say the numbers? So, for example, let's take a look at this third row and see if we can say this together. 1, 2, 4, 3 twos, 8, 5 twos, 12, 7 twos, 16, 9 twos, and 20. So it's not the usual way we skip count, but what we're doing is alternating between these two ways of saying the numbers and skip counting by twos. And so we're going back and forth between both ways. So let's try that one extra fast, and then let's see if we can do it one more way before we move on. So let's try it again, all together. I'll point to it and we'll say it. 1, 2, 4, 3 twos, 8, 5 twos, 12, 7 twos, 16, 9 twos, 20. And let's go to our second row. We're going to do the same thing. We're just going to alternate. So we're going to start on 2 and then go from there. 2, 2 twos, 6, 4 twos, 10, 6 twos, 14, 8 twos, 18, and 10 twos. Whew. We're going to keep practicing that as the days go on, but I wanted to introduce you to that today. I think it's pretty cool. And here's where we get to the bulk and the important part of our lesson today. Letters and unknown numbers. Promise me that you won't get intimidated, because this is actually not too hard. So, sometimes in math, we have problems that look like this. 1 plus 1 equals question mark. Okay? I think most of you know what would go in that question mark. It's asking, what is 1 plus 1 equal? And we know that 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay? So sometimes in math, we see problems written as that, where it's asking you to fill in the question mark with the right answer. Sometimes we see another way to write it. We have a problem like 1 plus 1 equals blank. Really, these two are asking the same exact thing. In one part, the unknown is represented by a question mark. And in this one, the unknown number is represented by a blank. And we all know how to just fill in that blank with the correct number. Now, let me introduce you to a third way of writing problems in math, where we use a letter to represent a number that we don't know yet. So in this case, to just continue our problem, we have 1 plus 1 equals x. And just like these other two problems, 1 plus 1 equals question mark, and 1 plus 1 equals blank, 1 plus 1 equals x, all this is asking is, what does that x equal? And if you've got the pattern so far, that x equals 2, because 1 plus 1 equals 2. So sometimes in math, we use a letter, such as x, to represent a number that we don't know yet. Now, it's not always x that is used to represent the unknown number. But just know that if you see a letter in math, all it means is that a number that we're trying to find that we don't know the answer to yet. So that's all I'm going to that's all I'm going to say to you right now about that topic. Let's move on to a practice problem to see how this actually works when we're solving a word problem. So let's put that letter as an unknown number to practice in this real word problem. And for this word problem, we're going to use our tried and true strategy of read, draw, and write. And I'm going to check off each of those things as we go along. So let's take a look at our problem and then try to solve it together. And I'm going to move my head so it's not in the way. So our problem today is Lena's family buys 2 adult tickets and 2 child tickets for the hayride. I like to underline important numbers in the problem. That's part of the reading part. So Lena's family buys 2 adult tickets and 2 child tickets for the hayride. How much does it cost Lena's family to go on the hayride? And I'm also going to underline that question. Okay? So the most important thing in a word problem is understanding what we're being asked. And what we're being asked is, how much does it cost Lena's family to go on a hayride? Now you're probably thinking, how are we supposed to figure that out? We don't know the prices. Well, that's where this chart comes in. So this chart's going to help us solve this problem. And it says hayrides. You could probably picture this sign being up at a place that does hayrides. So it says hayrides. An adult ticket is $7. A child ticket is $4. And then leaves every 15 minutes starting at 11. So that should give us the information that we need to solve the problem. So now that we've read all the information and we've underlined the question, now it's time to draw a picture to help represent this problem and how we're thinking about it. So there's many different pictures you could draw, and I want you to actually draw this with me. So if you haven't gotten anything yet, get something to write with, and let's draw a picture together. So here's the picture that makes most sense to me, but there are many ways we could do this. I'm going to draw smiley faces to represent the adult and the child tickets. So there's my adult smiley face, and I'm going to do another adult here. So we know we have 2 adults that need to go on the hayride. And what are the cost of those adult tickets? For that, we need to look at our sign. And if you look at our sign, it says adult tickets equals $7. So I'm going to write a $7 sign above each of our adults. So we know Lena's family is going to have to pay $7 for each adult. Now, we go to the kids. we're not done yet because they also need to buy 2 child tickets for the hayride. And for that, we're going to do smaller smiley faces to represent the kids. And how much do the child tickets cost? That's right, we look at our chart again, and we find out that they cost $4. I'm running out of room a little bit, but hopefully your paper is a little bigger than mine. So I'm drawing 2 smaller smiley faces to represent the kids, and I'm writing $4 next to them. So I have $7, $7, $4, and $4. And remember, our question is, how much does it cost Lena's family to go on the hayride? So here's where the letter as an unknown number is going to come in. I'm going to do a big sweeping loop here. And I'm going to write the letter C. And in this case, the letter C is going to represent the cost to Lena's family. So all I'm doing is basically taking the number that I want to find and putting a letter on it to represent an unknown number, a number that I don't know yet. So now we have 7, 7, 4, and 4 all together equals C. And if we wanted to write that as a mathematical equation, it would look like this. C equals 7, and I'm going to leave my dollar signs out for now, plus 7 plus 4 plus 4. And that's basically how we solve our problem. 7 plus 7 plus 4 plus 4. Now it's just up to you to solve that, okay? So I know you guys know how to add pretty well. So what I want you to do is add those up, and then you are going to fill in the answer. C equals what? You're going to tell me what 7 plus 7 plus 4 plus 4, and make sure to put a dollar sign on your answer. Now, your answer will go in your Google form because this is actually one of the questions that's on your Google form today. And there's many other questions that are just like this that I think now you have the skills to solve. So go do a few practice problems to practice this letter as an unknown number concept, and I think you guys will do really well. So we'll be back here tomorrow, and we're going to go over more of these problems to practice even more. But go out there and try it on your own and see how it goes. And if it's still a little bit tricky and you have trouble on those Google Forms, ask an adult or ask your teacher, and we'll be there to help you out. I had a good time with you guys today, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.